This film stands as an influential and contentious milestone in cinema. Even before its premiere, several nations imposed outright bans. Where it did screen, it triggered numerous criminal acts, prompting constant security patrols around theaters. What film could incite such a response? Presenting 2019's hottest crime drama, Joker. It starts with Arthur, residing in the seemingly humble Gotham City, where the stark wealth disparity highlights injustice, and the city is engulfed in chaos. The lower class is trapped in constant upheaval. Arthur struggles in the harsh environment of Gotham City, a reclusive and socially awkward individual afflicted with uncontrollable laughter. Limited to jobs like hidden advertising, he was selling gifts when thugs stole his ad. Despite his shouts, no one in the bustling street helped, and he could only express his anger once he caught up with them. This incident reflects the city's crime-ridden state. Overwhelmed by the event, Arthur fell to the ground. His employer showed indifference to his ordeal. Arthur had no choice but to face the billboard issue with a smile, fearing job loss. He'd release his frustrations, often hitting a trash can, the only thing he could vent on. Arthur struggled with worsening laughter disorder, laughing uncontrollably during tense or confusing times. Regular visits to a counseling center and increased medication didn't help his condition. Despite life's bitterness, Arthur remained kind-hearted. On his bus ride home, he made faces to cheer up a little girl, only to be rudely interrupted by her mother. His nerves overwhelmed him, and he fell ill, losing control. Arthur could only show his medical card as a warning, but the child's mother and passengers looked at him with disdain. Walking home on his usual path, he was mentally and physically exhausted. That rundown apartment was his refuge. Arthur lived with his mother, taking care of her besides working every day. She once worked for a wealthy music industry mogul and often wrote to her former employer, Wayne, hoping for assistance. Arthur thought she was just daydreaming. Amidst his monotonous life, he found joy in watching Cloud's new Murray Laugh talk show. He dreamed of standing on the stage like his idol Murray, bringing happiness to this harsh world. The following day, Arthur's friend Fatty learned about the thugs' attack on him. Out of kindness, Fatty gave Arthur a gun for self-defense. Initially hesitant, Arthur was reluctant to accept it, but Fatty insisted, saying, "Oh my." Arthur accepted the gun without realizing it would alter his destiny. On his way home, in the elevator with his neighbor Sophie and her daughter, they briefly chatted to ease the awkwardness. Arthur misinterpreted their interaction, assuming Sophie liked him. At home, excited, he accidentally discharged the gun, shocking himself as he fell. The next day at the children's hospital, while entertaining, the gun fell out, causing him great embarrassment and resulted in immediate reprimand. The boss called, questioning why he was carrying a gun. He quickly explained it was a prop, but the boss didn't believe him. The chubby guy, Arthur's supposed ally, betrayed him, leaving Arthur to face the fallout. Arthur fell into despair as misfortune struck. While heading home on the subway late at night, Arthur witnessed 3 well-dressed men harassing a girl. She looked helpless and glanced at Arthur, who turned away quickly, fearing trouble. Due to his condition, a nervous tic suddenly caused Arthur to laugh loudly, drawing the attention of the men. Mistaking his laughter as provocation, the men approached him. Arthur tried to take out the card to explain, but his bag was snatched away, and he was viciously beaten by the group. Even as Arthur lay on the ground, they didn't stop. The constant bullying and humiliation became unbearable, leading Arthur to launch his first retaliation against the dark world. After killing 2 individuals, the last one fled in terror, but Arthur wouldn't let him escape as he had never been shown mercy. Afterward, Arthur ran swiftly down the dimly lit street, overwhelmed by emotions. While many believe laughter eases sorrow, for Arthur it was the root of his misery. Stumbling into an ice rink, he found himself entranced, gracefully dancing as if rebelling against his old self. The act of killing instilled in him newfound confidence, replacing the timid man he once was with a bold figure, masked as a clown. Emboldened, he kissed his longtime crush, Sophie's daughter, at their doorstep. The next day, Arthur resigned from his job, feeling liberated. No so-called colleague cared about his ordeal. They mocked him, making Arthur furious, prompting him to smash something before leaving. And changed the top stair picture from "Don't forget to smile" to "Don't smile." Suddenly, the Joker became a hot topic. During Wayne's mayoral campaign interview, he noted the 3 deceased elites were from Wayne Enterprises, praising them as virtuous and cultured. He derided the masked killer, the Joker, as a cowardly failure, and hinted at some lower-class individuals also being jokers. The current music scene is dominated by wealth and power, dictating societal values. Despite negative reports and attacks, Arthur felt more validated than ever. He eagerly shared these thoughts with his psychiatrist, who was indifferent and told him not to return. To reduce expenses, the government closed social welfare facilities. Without free medication, Arthur's laughter disorder worsened. On the day he performed on stage, his illness acted up just as he stepped on. He tried to compose himself, but couldn't control his sudden illness. His performance was booed except by Sophie, his neighbor, who admired him. Afterward, Arthur saw a newspaper about the clown murders. Sophie saw the clown as a hero for eliminating 3 industry villains. This thrilled Arthur. Spotting a taxi with people in clown masks, he felt acknowledged. At home, he joyfully danced with his mother, who reminded him to send a letter to Wayne. Arthur wondered what she meant. Opening the letter, everyone was stunned to see it claimed he was the son of his mother and Wayne. Angrily, he sought confirmation from his mother, who had to divulge everything. She admitted she and Wayne were secret lovers when young. Due to their social differences, she signed a confidentiality agreement after Arthur's birth. Though he was illegitimate, this news sparked hope for Arthur. He visited Wayne's mansion and met Bruce, the future Batman. Arthur wore a clown nose and performed magic for Bruce, feeling a strange closeness to his brother. Suddenly, the butler arrived to escort him out. When Arthur mentioned his mother's name and his purpose, the butler dismissed her as delusional, insisting Wayne had no ties to her. He told Arthur to leave immediately and stop embarrassing himself. This comment shattered Arthur's hopes, enraging him. He contemplated attacking the butler but stopped upon seeing Bruce and, feeling ashamed, ran off. Disheartened, Arthur returned to find his mother had a stroke and was being taken by ambulance. As he waited, he saw himself on TV on his idol Murray's show, where Murray played a clip of Arthur's performance. Arthur's initial thrill turned to anger when he realized Murray was mocking, not praising him. At that moment, Arthur's view of Murray shattered, fueling his resolve to make those responsible pay for their actions.